Do what? Good morning, St. Louis. Are we going, Pop?
Going, Pop?
Oh, okay.
Okay, there we go.
Good morning,
St. Louis, and welcome to the Kirk Schilling extravaganza. At least until we find something better.
This
morning we got a lot going on in the world, but more importantly, we're going to have here just a second Mr. Matt Barbey on here from Time for Success. Oh wow! Just a minute.
We're looking for video here.
The
fun and excitement
of going
live. You gotta love it.
Welcome,
ladies and gentlemen, across the St. Louis area.
We're
working on getting Mr. Barbey on here. We're going to talk to him a little bit about Time for Success. That is his business. So that's what we're doing today. Plus, we'll talk a little bit about some upcoming events. And
yeah, no,
I'm getting texted. Jen saying I'm echoing. Am I echoing? Echo.
I don't know.
Echo.
I'm having trouble getting
Video's acting crazy.
Yeah, she told me that.
That's all right.
We're just rolling along here.
Thank you
for the insight, dear. This is me writing and talking.
How we doing
there, Papa?
See now,
for those that don't remember,
our computer
here is named Hal.
And
if you don't know that reference, you're not old like us, and you don't remember the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Stand by.
Okay, he's saying stand by.
Or sit by.
I'm gonna sit if that works for you.
It's always
fun
doing things
live. That's for sure.
Matt's a
really great guy, though. He's just hanging out in the background going, oh my God, what did I get myself into? It's all good. I wonder. Let's see.
We're just trying
to figure
So
everything out. So while we're waiting here, we're going to talk about.
I actually went to a
sporting event
on
Sunday. St. Louis FC
played
their first home game.
What?
What's the problem?
You got it?
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll
come back to the St. Louis FC thing.
All right. We're
going to bring in Mr. Matt Barbey
from
Time for Success. Good morning, Matt. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
I can hear you now.
All right.
Matt is obviously not old enough to remember 2001: Space Odyssey.
Oh, come on. I totally know how.
We're just giving you.
That was a compliment.
I can't do that, Dave.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Did I get that about right?
That's pretty close.
That's pretty close.
The voice
is even pretty close too.
Excellent.
So,
I'm sorry, Dave.
Sorry, Dave.
I can't do. Sorry, Dave.
Yes.
Yes.
So if everything blinks out, we blame everything on Hal.
That's how this works here.
So Matt,
thanks for coming on this morning.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's good being here.
Absolutely.
So you are the CEO of Time for Success.
And
obviously the point of this
is to talk
about your business.
So let's talk a
little bit about what Time for Success does.
Little old me?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah, so what we do is, ultimately it's about helping business owners create the kind of business that gives them and their families and even their employees the lives that they dream of, and it's about putting the right systems and strategies in place so that they can take a step back and let their employees do what they're great at, automate the things they don't want to do or should be doing, or makes it easy, and then so they can get back to the lives of their families. Business owners put so much into their business, and unfortunately it's really easy to get so lost in it and kind of forget why we do the business in the first place and how we're supposed to take care of that, so yeah, it's that's what we do.
Excellent.
So
basically
we always have talking points we want to talk about. So
kind of
to take it a step further.
Boy, I am
echoing. That's kind of crazy.
There's an echo. Yeah, is that live?
It's me.
It's me.
It's Memorex.
It's Memorex.
No, I think it's
just me. That's the problem.
Yeah, I don't hear myself.
You don't hear yourself? I don't hear me. I
don't hear myself.
Wait, I think I just fixed the echo. Am I still echoing?
No.
No, I think I just figured out what the problem is. Anybody want to make fun of me now? So this goofy headset has a microphone on it, and it was right in front of my face. And so I think that was the problem.
Yeah, I'm hearing it now, but there's a bit of a delay, I think. So.
Yeah, I'm always a bit delayed. Anyway, so
moving on.
So let's talk a little bit about the difference between coaching and consulting.
Yeah, well, that's a great question, Kirk. So there's kind of a spectrum between coaching and consulting, and even within coaching in and of itself, around business coaching. So coaching is kind of more typically kind of telling people what to do, maybe giving people the tools. I mean, you kind of, you might think of it as kind of like a sports coach, where you're helping people to put the right strategies in place and perform them better. And so there's that spectrum, that side of working with business systems and strategies within coaching. And then, consulting is kind of where you're more hands-on, and you might be helping them implement something. You're going to be involved a lot more hands-on. Now, within coaching, though, even within business coaching, there's actually, interestingly, kind of a spectrum within that. Even there's kind of a spectrum from helping more people more so with their mindset, helping them with getting through some of the obstacles, or I call it head trash, that might be holding them back. And then there's kind of the other side, of that spectrum within coaching, where, like I said before, you're helping out with business strategies. You're giving them the tools, let's say, to build a marketing plan, or maybe a employee improvement plan, or any of those kind of like actual tools that they need to be able to implement the strategies in their business. So there's even that kind of spectrum, which is great. I mean, have you ever heard the term executive coach?
I have.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people who are business coaches who are kind of more so that executive coach, that, again, that mindset or that leadership, helping people kind of get through those obstacles. When I say mind or head trash, do you know? Have you ever heard of that term before?
That was actually. See, I have to be careful when I do this, because I have to let people talk and not jump in and make ad libs and silly remarks all the time, because with that little delay, it's like I could totally talk over a great statement of yours. But head trash, I love that. I get the idea behind that, but I don't think I've ever heard that term. Yeah, there's always a lot of trash in my head, that's for sure.
Right, yeah. With head trash, what I mean by that is kind of like we have all these things that are moments in our life that we'd like to just kind of throw away, right? So we kind of try to crumple it up, and we try to kind of like throw it away, but we typically don't necessarily get rid of that, because we're just trying to push it out of the way. But what we end up doing is we end up kind of like building walls and building obstacles for where we want to go. And I just kind of call it head trash. I don't remember when or how I fell upon that, but yeah, it kind of gives that visual, I think, of those things that we stumble upon as we're trying to move forward. With Time for Success, we do some of that. Actually, I do have some partnerships, and we actually brought on a doctor of industrial organizational psychology onto the team, who is going to be really diving into a lot more of that, not just for the executives and business owners, but also even for employees. And so we're actually going to be building some more of that stuff out, because the truth is we can't have business or professional success fully until we can have that personal success. I mean, it can feel, because we could do some great things. I should say we can do some great things in in our professional life and all that stuff, but it can feel sometimes more hollow because when we know that we're lacking in other areas, it doesn't feel as complete as it would be if we're having success in really all areas of life. And actually, I have a podcast and radio show, and we actually do dig into that. What it means to be successful in business, for life, in all areas of life, and all that stuff as well. So
excellent. And don't feel shy. You can talk about your podcast on here. That's totally okay.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate that. It's called Time for Success, and we're in all the major areas, Spotify and iTunes. Also, I put it on YouTube if people want to watch it. I put it on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. Put it in all the places as well. But the reason I started doing that, though, it kind of came back to what is it Christmas? Was that like Christmas?
It sometimes happens. Well, Papa plays Santa Claus, right? You've seen
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he will actually dress up. He does the whole whitening of the hair and the beard and all that stuff. And sometimes people, have to get a hold of Santa Claus throughout the year. So every once in a while, his phone goes off. And he's in trouble,
fantastic.
But that's how it is. It is kind of fantastic.
That's
right?
fantastic. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit, Matt, about some of the foundations for business success that you teach and help people build.
Well, I kind of boil it down to 4 P's. You could say 3 P's, but I tease that a little bit more just to help people better kind of understand it. So patrons, people, profits, and processes, basically. And the reason I tease it out like that, because technically patrons are also people, so you could technically, I guess, make that argument. But what I teach people is that if you really want to have a business that gives you the profits and the freedom and those things that you want ultimately from your business, it really starts with understanding your patrons. I know Marcus Lemonis, he talks about product. I think it's product, people, process. But to me, the product is not necessarily as important as understanding what your clients need, and then you build the solutions that give them that wow experience, that make them love you, love what you do, love what you offer. So to me, that it starts there, because they're the ones that you want to make happy. And I'm not talking about like everybody. You can't make everybody happy all the time. I'm talking about those A grade, maybe B as well, quality type clients that you love serving, that it energizes you to serve, the people who get it, who love working with you and love talking about you and bringing in their friends and putting reviews up on Facebook. Those kind of people that just love what you do. You build your business around those people, and you create a mission around how you serve them. And then you can find the right people, as in terms of like employees and team members, or contractors and vendors, and all those people who really buy into your mission, who want to be on mission with you, not just working in your mission, really on mission with you. And when you have those right people, especially at the core, especially early on, you get those few employees that just they're in it to win it with you. They help you to build those processes, to really refine the standard operating procedures, to help you figure out what you can automate and what you can let them handle and what they're great at. And when you get those things in place, then ultimately that's going to give you the profits that are going to allow you to live the life that you want to live. A lot of people try to kind of, they forget how important it is to have the right people, and they try to do it all on their own shoulders, and it ends up burning them out. It ends up keeping them stuck. They never really can quite get to that freedom business, as I call it. Is it all right? You probably, do you know what I mean by freedom business?
Well, I would say that it just translating that in my own head means that you have a business that's running and operating, and you don't have to be there running the ship at all times.
Right. Yeah. I actually just kind of talking about it and really four stages of business. There's startup, when you're just getting it going, maybe pre-revenue, and then you're basically in survival mode as long as the business requires you to be there for it to survive and for you to survive in terms of all the bills getting paid and maybe putting some money in the bank. But it's not until that freedom stage where you can really step back and that the employee is going to continue, the business is going to continue to thrive because you've got the right employees in place that you can trust, and the right systems in place that are going to be consistent. That's going to give you that consistent wow experience for your clients. And when you can step back and know that it's going to thrive and continue to grow without you, that's really where you have freedom in your life. And then the final stage is really kind of where you're living your dream. Maybe you've got multiple businesses, or maybe you've got the one business that gives you the income, plus you've been able to invest in some ways that you've got you've got your retirement set up, and you know that you're good to go, and you can maybe do work on the charities that you want to do, maybe mission trips, or maybe you can invest in other people's businesses, or just spend time with the grandkids or the family. That's really where you're living the dream, and that's ultimately I want to help people get to that freedom business that allows them to really jump off from there and live that dream life.
Absolutely. So, I guess essentially, as you're taking those steps through, when you're in that survival mode, you're basically self-employed. And if you go take a week off, essentially your business is closed for that entire week.
Yeah. And I've actually seen multi-million-dollar businesses that I would still call self-employed, because if the business owner leaves for any amount of time, things kind of start to fall apart.
Mm-hmm.
You should be able to leave for weeks or months, or even years on end, and be able to just trust it. And the thing that I think a lot of people forget about too is that it's not just about just running the processes. You have to actually kind of build a business around this concept of organizational development. And again, Dr. Simpson, we brought him on board, and we're working on bring some of these systems to small business, because organizational development is kind of a concept that a lot of bigger businesses typically have. But it's really about being able to build a business that can pivot, can be flexible, agile, if you will. And if you have even a smaller or medium-sized business, let's say if your business is getting around to that $5 or $8 million mark, you definitely should be getting close to that freedom business, because once you hit about that $8 to $10 million mark, your business, the wheels are going to start falling off in that business. You're gonna really hit that ceiling. If it really depends on you to be there, to be making the sales, making sure it's running. It's just too much for a human being to manage. But as you build it out, you need to build a business that actually has the systems to identify market changes and to identify need changes, so that you can continue to innovate and continue to move with the way that the economy, the communities, your tribe, all those people, everything is moving around you too. So it does take some strategic planning in terms of making sure that you have those in place as well. So that's also kind of something future planning. A lot of people just think, well, I'm just going to build it and just going to let it run, but it can't thrive and grow unless you have these elements of organizational development also in place.
Absolutely. And I gotta stop you there, though. You make it sound like things could happen in the world, like the whole crap shut down and the place go up in flames. You think something like that would actually happen? You have to be flexible in business. What are you talking about, man?
I know. In late 2018, I started doing workshops for building a recession-resistant business, because that's actually just part of life. Recessions happen, things shut down, or things slow down. I did not anticipate COVID at that point.
I think this is your fault.
But
you did this. No, I'm just kidding.
It could be my fault. It could be my fault. But but I talk about economic cycles and economic cycles. So a recession, an economic cycle is a period of growth and then contraction, right? And that's just part of business. And on average, I think that complete cycle happens every 4.7 years. Well, we were on a really good trend for, I think, over 11 years in terms of growth. And so we were kind of overdue. And, it takes some of these black swans sometimes coming out of nowhere, which a black swan is basically this event that nobody anticipated that finally swept the leg out from under the economy. And, I was kind of thinking maybe it could be some of these, trade wars or, maybe some sort of shifts in some sort of political environments and whatnot. And, okay, I mean, yes, I know we could probably get into discussions of whether or not COVID is some sort of shift in a political environment. But we're not going to go down that path.
I get in trouble when I talk politics on here, so I'm just not going there.
Right.
I start getting text messages saying, shut up, nobody cares about your opinion.
Right. That's just, I mean, that's just down, that's a road we don't need to go down right now. But it's bound to happen. And unfortunately, in 2008, heck, the dot-com bubble, I mean, it happens every time where people are like, oh my gosh, what is this economic recession thing that's happening? I've never seen this before.
Right.
How quickly we forget. So I was trying to get ahead of the curve and trying to get people to take it seriously, but people would come and they just kind of be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Okay, sure. Yeah, we should do that. But there were a few, of course, that took some action. And I started working with and coaching and consulting, and we started putting systems in place to help them to be okay. But yeah, I mean, this was a big surprise, But I'm still cautioning people again, because I tell you what, it's a really interesting environment right now. People, especially like the trades industry. Right, construction, or especially even like outdoor landscapers and those folks, they actually still have a lot of business. Actually, it's interesting that things are kind of going gangbuster for a lot of them right now still. But and they're trying to hire and they're trying to do all this stuff, and I'm trying to caution people that, look, I understand trying to take advantage of it while it's here, but rather than trying to hire and expand, what you need to do is be kind of conserving, putting some money in the bank, working on actually like your marketing plan. I know it's like contradictory to what people are thinking, but I tell you, depending on stimulus and when it comes out and all that, which is just kind of going to maybe further delay the inevitable, we're going to have like a bigger recession, right? We're going to have a bigger collapse of things. I think things are kind of artificially, to a degree, being held up because of the extra unemployment money that's been coming out and which has ended. It's because of the extra maybe $3,000 or $4,000 that some families got that they didn't have before. And there's some people who put it away, but the people who put it away are the people who save already for the most part. A lot of people were just spending the money because it was in the bank account. That's just kind of what they're used to doing. So I think that we're going to see that happen again. So I encourage people, definitely try to do what you can and manage the growth and take advantage of the opportunities and book out and do all that. But I do caution going too gangbuster right now with hiring a bunch of people, because it seems busy, but probably by September, October, sometime later on this year, I think we're going to start seeing things slow down again. If a recession, or if it is held out, the recession is held out a little bit longer because of like another round of checks or something like that, it might be early next year. But I'm just saying, people be cautious. Don't hire and expand that way at the expense of putting some money into the bank and taking some time to actually put together like a real sales and marketing plan, which I help clients do. And trust me, this is not just self-serving. This is really trying to help people, because I'm telling people, whether you work with me or not, you need a good sales and marketing plan to be able to, like we said, pivot, be able to grow. Because there's great opportunities actually in a recession for a small business as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, let's just keep kind of rolling into the sales and marketing idea, and kind of how you. I mean, obviously, you don't tell us everything because this is the teaser. This is the teaser for you to call that phone number or send that email and talk to Matt.
Right. So it's easy when we're starting our business and running the day-to-day, and even if we've got a pretty good influx of leads and customers to kind of just be comfortable, right? And I think that having a strong economy as we did for years, it was definitely easy because people were literally Googling the top 10 ways to spend their money. So I think it was really easy to just live off of referrals and maybe you put a little bit of money into some direct mail or something here and there, and you got enough to be okay. But the real question is, what is your customer acquisition cost? What is your cost per lead? What is your conversion rate on those as well? Are you spending a whole lot of time meeting customers or fielding phone calls, but not quite closing as many deals as you could? And that's kind of a tough question to ask yourself, because it might feel like business is good and it's all right, but if it's low, if it's especially less than like 25% or something like that, you have to really ask. You have to really ask if you've got the right leads coming in and you've got a good sales process in place, because when crunch time comes, you have to be as efficient and as effective as possible and profitable as possible. And so having a good sales and marketing plan in place helps you to take better control of that. You're able to measure your return on investment for marketing. You're able to know how much you're spending to get new clients, and even seeing if it's profitable or how quickly it's profitable. Because for a lot of businesses, you might invest in marketing and you might, let's say, pay $1,000, and it might not pay off until month 3 or 4 of a client. Let's say you have some sort of service-based business, and so maybe it feels like it's okay because you've got enough to where the cash flow is okay, but it doesn't need to be that way. Could you do better? Are you testing and measuring? Are you trying to see if there's a better way to get those clients that allows you to quit spending money on the marketing, to reduce the marketing spend, but get more leads and get better quality leads? And that's that next aspect of it, because the more you talk to just those C, D, and F type quality clients, the more you're wasting your time. Mm-hmm. You need to be able to build a target market avatar, really define the best people, the people that you love to work with, and then it's just like Christmas. You know what I mean?
It's just like Christmas then. Presents just come out of nowhere.
Just out of nowhere. Just like Christmas.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's something too that a lot of people don't understand in the business world is ROI, is that return on investment. And if you're not measuring that, you're just throwing money around.
Right. It's I think we all are used to picking up the phone and our clients saying, hey, or a prospect saying, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. How much is it going to cost me? And so we get used to thinking about things as costs. Mm-hmm. But I teach all of my clients to really turn it around as an investment, because really, if somebody's going to spend money on something, it's going to have some sort of return for them, whether it's emotional or maybe they're investing in like marketing for the business and it's going to have some sort of ROI. But so it's easy to kind of get stuck in talking about like costs and expenses and all that stuff, but really, marketing should return more money than you put out for it. your sales process should return more money, give you back more money through sales than you put into it. So it really is an investment. And so it's too easy to say, okay, well, how much is it going to cost me? Okay, I want to run some Facebook ads. How much is it going to cost me? Well, the real question is what will the ROI potentially look like, and how quickly will I start seeing that? And it also affects the cash flow, right? So, when you get smart marketing, especially for small business, there's a difference between like branding and direct response marketing. Most small business owners, they need to return a profit pretty quickly from expenses, or at least cover, or from their marketing. I'm sorry. So they need to return a profit, or at least cover their costs for marketing pretty quickly. And so I encourage people to understand the difference between branding and direct response marketing. And is it okay if I explain that difference, Kirk?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
As long as you don't reveal that you created this whole fiasco to, affect an election, or, everything's going to, whatever. You're good to go with whatever, man.
Well, Kirk, man, if I revealed that on your show, I mean, I think it would just skyrocket your ratings, wouldn't it?
Oh, it probably would. It would definitely do something.
That would. You'd probably get a syndicated show. You'd probably get a syndicated show out of it. All that. So I think it would be good.
Right.
You should. No. So no, I'm definitely not doing that. But so the difference between like branding and direct response marketing is branding is what a lot of marketing companies do and actually start out with, which can be really good for businesses who are ready for it, who have the time to where they don't necessarily need the money returned immediately. But for a lot of small businesses, they really need to get better with their direct response marketing. So branding is kind of like, you see in Coca-Cola, you see it's refreshing, and you see all these commercials where it's like, hey, there's attractive people drinking the Coca-Cola or the Pepsi, and it's just creating this image around what this business is, or the product is, the brand. It's creating an image around it so that people kind of maybe remember it later whenever they're ready to pick it up, or a bottled water or whatever that might be. So
this
right,
actually got my name on it. See,
Kirkland. Oh, Kirkland.
Well,
Right.
Yeah. See, so.
Well, see, attractive people drinking Kirkland water, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey,
Product
Costco,
placement.
I'm available.
Just saying. I take sponsorships, right?
Exactly.
So, so that's branding, right? Where we're putting out this we're trying to create this image around it. And the difference, though, with direct response is where you're actually saying, hey, prospect, I've got really something that you want to check out, and you should check this out right now, like today. What's happening out there?
Just noise. It's all good.
It's
the
ghost
of
the
the
reindeer.
machine. Yeah.
Oh, that too. Yeah, he needs to quit bringing the reindeer into the office.
Well,
So
it happens.
Yeah,
it's when they when they don't go outside to do their business that it gets really troublesome. No,
yeah.
no, rewind there because we had a little bit though. So take us from branding now into the next step. Yeah.
Right. So,
whoa! What just? Holy moly! Hold on.
Yeah,
what are you doing now?
Reindeer into the office.
Wow.
Sorry about that.
Are you?
No, that's all
like? I mean, if you just want to replay everything we just talked about, that's fine.
No. Hal just decided to go funky, and then he jumped over here to Mac, and it is what it is. Moving on,
Skynet
back to
working
important business. Yes.
All right, so So what I was saying was direct response marketing. Now, it doesn't always have to sound salesy. I think people, when they think of direct response marketing, and when I start talking about it, they immediately think of the buy now, and you want this, and we'll buy you this, plus we'll sell more of this, and all that. So the truth is, like, people go there's a journey that your buyers, your prospects go on before they ever really buy from your business. There's a journey of where they want to educate themselves, they want to know more, they want to understand better. So first they become aware of some sort of problem. And hang with me as I continue to. This is all about direct response marketing. I'm going to tie it all in here. So just hang with me. All right.
I'm hanging.
So, all right. So the buyer's journey is important to understand before I can really kind of finish up this direct response talk. So first it starts out with your prospects. Or your target market, they first become aware of a goal or maybe a problem that they have that they don't want anymore, and then they start thinking maybe there's a solution out there. So they start becoming aware of a solution. Maybe it's a solution that you provide, or maybe there's a variety of solutions to end this problem. And then they start looking into the benefits of particular solutions. And they kind of start selling themselves on, okay, yeah, all right, yeah, I probably need this. But then the lizard brain kicks in. And that lizard brain is that fight or flight part of the brain. It says, whoa, hey, this sounds good, but it might kill you. So yeah. So immediately we start thinking about, right. So immediately our brain says, okay, what are the objections? And so we start thinking about, okay, so I don't know, maybe this is going to cost too much, or maybe it's not going to do what it says it's going to do, or those typical objections. Once we kind of get over that little hump, then we're like, okay, yeah, all right, that's fine. Yeah, I think it's going to be okay. I'm going to go ahead and buy it. Then we're in vendor selection mode. And here's the truth. Only about maybe 1 to 4% of your target market that's out there is really in buyer or in vendor selection mode. So most of the marketing tries to cut from awareness of a solution straight to vendor selection. Oh, hey, you got back pain? You should buy us today, right? You should come in and we'll adjust you today, or we've got the CBD oils for you today. Come in today and we'll sell it to you. But people don't necessarily always understand, again, the benefits of the solution. They haven't really overcome the objections, and so they're kind of like pumping the brakes. So they still got to go through everything else. So, but if you can be that guide as they go through that buyer's journey, if you can be kind of that Sherpa, you can help them understand. Sherpa. That's not a word that people use every day. People need to use that term more, I think. Yeah. Very respectable people who help guide people up the Himalayas. So Himalayas. So anyway, so if you can be that guide and you can actually catch people earlier on, hey, you're starting to experience some back pain. Well, let me tell you, and I've got this maybe a free report or some information about all the different ways of treating back pain and the need to know type information. Well, people might download that, or they might go to a certain landing page, or they might they're going to want that information, and you cover the different benefits, the different solutions. Maybe you cover the different objections that they might have. But also, while you're doing that, you're also covering the differences in vendors and how they provide that service or that product. Because most people, when they're in vendor selection stage, they haven't really understood the importance of the differences in the vendors. And so they pick up that phone and they call, and what's their first question, Kirk?
How much
I already said it earlier.
Cost me?
Right. Yeah. Like, okay, yeah, I'm thinking about doing this. How much is it going to cost?
See, I was paying attention.
Yeah, good. So they pick up the phone and how much it's going to cost. So if you are there with them through that whole journey, if you also help them better understand what it is that you do and how you do it differently, what your market dominating position is and how that benefits them, then they automatically have that relationship with you, and they're gonna be much more likely to choose you, way more likely than the other people, even if it's going to cost them more, because they trust you at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of people think that this is just going to be kind of like a long-term game, but for the most part, if you give them the information they need, the common questions that you get asked every day whenever you walk in a door, or whenever your client walks in your door, they're going to move through that process much more quickly. They don't feel like they have to go and Google a bunch of things or ask all their friends or all that. They've got the information they need to make a good decision. And so it actually moves a lot more people a lot more quickly through that buyer's journey. And so that's kind of what I'm talking about with direct response, because if you put advertisements out there, promotions that allow people to kind of get a taste, help with that education component of that buyer's journey, and build that relationship and get them all the way through it, rather than trying to just jump the shark with them right to,
Mm-hmm.
hey, buy now, then you're going to be the trusted provider. You're going to be the person that they're going to refer to. I mean, even if they're not necessarily going to buy immediately, they might know other people who might want to buy. And so, they know so much about you and what you do, they're going to be much more likely to refer. And it allows you to be able to drip on them over time as well, because, you've already built the relationship. It just might be a money thing right now, but you're going to be that person they go to as long as you follow up and stay top of mind, some sort of drip marketing, and there's a lot of ways to do that these days. From emails to Facebook retargeting. You can do that with LinkedIn as well, and social media, to following up with direct mail, depending on what kind of information you have, phone calls. There's a lot of ways that you kind of drip and continue that relationship, but it really starts with that direct response around helping them get through that buyer's journey and not just trying to sell them.
Absolutely, and I think that covers, that's some great insight for a lot of people, because basically, I'll paraphrase. Number one, with that buyer's journey, you really hit on a key point that anybody that, if you actually read things, you'll learn that people buy on emotion first, and then they have to justify it logically.
Right.
So you have to know that when you're going to these conversations. And you and I have both seen it too. When you're out networking with people, when you're meeting with people, the quickest way to get somebody to bristle up and back away from you is to try to hardcore sell them, like right there on the spot. And that is that's a lesson that I think a lot of people in sales need to learn really quickly.
Yeah.
I don't pick on this industry specifically, but you see it a lot with the financial/insurance market, because for salespeople in their industry, they target younger kids coming out of college for the most part. And you see them, you could see them coming a mile away in a networking event. Here they come. They see me, I look good, so I must have money I want to give them, And I really try to take a little step back with them and be like, listen, I don't know you from anybody. You need to work first on building relationships. And that's not hitting on people in networking events, but building relationships so people know you, that people know more about you, that builds trust, that, like you're saying, when they get to that point of vendor selection, they know you, they trust you. And I think it helps too when you've talked to people and they're not looking for what you're doing, but because of the relationships you've built, somebody's looking for, their air conditioner went out. And I say, well, have you talked to Mike Stein? That's a free plug for you, Stein. But I know Mike.
But he does take sponsorships.
He does, absolutely. We do take sponsorships.
Kirk takes sponsorships, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. But everybody that I know that's ever talked about his company and what they do has had rave reviews on it. And I know if I tell somebody to contact him, that I can trust him and what his company does. And we can go through the list of most of the people that have been on this show have been that way. You know, it's people that I would not hesitate to give their name and number out to for somebody that's looking for that. And then somebody goes through that process and uses that person that you sent them to, and it is a great business transaction for them. They remember that. So when they do need what you need, here they come. Because that buyer cycle could be years.
It could be.
Honestly.
It could be, and sometimes it is. Yeah, and that's why, you know, with when you get good with direct response marketing and you know, you're able to kind of help them move forward a little bit more quickly, because, you know, it helps them better understand it helps them to understand all the things they need to understand and get over the fears they might have. But yeah, you know, that having a great referral partners is absolutely, you know, a key. I mean, so first of all, earlier when I talked about even a referral base, you know, or just counting on referrals, you know, in the post 2008 economic growth world, referrals are great. And I actually do train or teach my clients, do trainings and workshops on how to build better referral partnerships, because there should be some strategies behind that. There should be some ways to take it beyond just kind of the random referral to really strategic referral systems from your clients and from your strategic partners. But also you hit upon two pet peeves there too. Is it all right if I hit just the
Absolutely.
2 pet peeves that you talked about? Okay, so one of them is absolutely the bringing the young people in for the sales, or anybody in for sales, and not really preparing them and training them on good strategies and systems for sales. You know, a lot of the times what I see for small businesses is they say, all right, welcome to the team. We're so glad to have you. This is what we sell, and we sell it to these people, which is typically anybody who fogs a mirror.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what we sell it for. All right, brother or sister. You got this.
Yep.
Go get them. And unfortunately, it's kind of like the old. I mean, the way that I equate it is to like the insurance agent culling process, if you will. I mean, really, people give a hard time to insurance agents because, you know, they see that a lot. But almost every business does the exact same thing. Well, you know, whoever sticks around are really the people who want it. Look, I got to be honest. You know, if you have a problem keeping people around, if you have a decent turnover rate, it's probably because you've built a business that people don't want to work for. You know, and that's the hard reality, and the you know, and I mean that sincerely, and not trying to be mean or anything out there, but you know, you got to really think through how you're leading people in the culture that you're developing, and how you're engaging and empowering and equipping your team. If you want an effective sales team, it takes up to 10 months on average for a salesperson to really become efficient and effective, the way that you know, and start paying for themselves. And that's even in you know, Fortune 500 companies and companies with great sales systems. So the burn and churn that I see for most small businesses with salespeople, or I mean, it really could be technicians or any of that as well, is really sad. The other pet peeve, if it's all right, is yes, I mean, networking can be that way in real life, but also on LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. LinkedIn people badger the heck out of people and just go straight in with the elevator pitch for the sale, and then they send a Calendly link, say, hey, you know, this is what I do. If you want to meet, jump on my calendar.
Oh, I hate that.
I don't.
Calendly.
Oh my gosh.
Let's put it this way. Here's the quickest way you're not going to get to talk to me. Send me that very thing you're talking about right there.
Yeah.
Not paying attention.
So
if you can't take the time to have a discussion with me about when our schedules could match, yeah, you see ya.
Right. Yeah, It's a pet peeve, and I know some great people who are really well-known networkers that I've kind of given that feedback. I have given that feedback to, and I said, hey, just so you know, yes, Calendly is a great, efficient tool if people want to use it. But first of all, I mean, in most of those LinkedIn invites, first of all, you don't even know if they want to meet with you. I mean, just sending the elevator pitch alone without trying to build a relationship has probably already made it to where they don't want to meet you. Because you're not really trying to solve their problem. You're just trying to solve your problem of making more sales. And then the other aspect is as soon as you send that Calendly link, you're saying, hey, I don't really have the time to look at my calendar and talk with you about your calendar. So, you take the time to do it. Now, I know that that's not what you mean. I know
but
that
that's
you
the
love
way it
it.
comes across.
Right. For a lot of people. There are some people, let me be clear, there are some people who love it, right? And there are some people that even after you've confirmed the meeting and all that, they'll love it once you send it to them because they think it's easier. But you haven't built that relationship first, right? You have to make sure that they want to meet, and you have to ask them, like, hey, what's the easiest way to schedule? Do you want me to send you some dates? Do you want me just to send you a Calendly link? Do you want to send me your Calendly link? What's the easiest way? Just ask that simple question.
It's a very simple question that goes a long way. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. We just have a few more minutes here, Matt. So I want to throw this into. You had mentioned you have some upcoming events.
Yeah.
Coming up. I want to talk about those real quick before we run out of time.
Okay. So one of them is specifically around, like I said, kind of an organizational development. Also has some aspects of employee development, and it's about creating innovative, adaptable, and agile companies in a fast-paced world with organizational development. And so I've already got that one up on Eventbrite. It's also on my Facebook page. So if you go, facebook.com/time for success, you'll find me.
I think I linked you in the comments on here as well.
Right.
To that Facebook page. So.
Yeah. Awesome. And my logo is the one with looks like a little clock and check mark kind of all together on the left side. It says time for success. That's my logo. I don't know if you saw the symbolism in there, but that's what that is. Yeah. Thank you. So there, we've got that one. Then I've got another one that we're putting out, and we're going to do that one on, well, first of all, the organizational development, the agile companies, is going to be on August 20th, and we're going to do that over lunch. I'm going to do one on August 13th at 8 a.m., and it's actually going to be specifically for business owner dads. Of course, business owner moms can come too, in same principles, but I have a certain heart for business owner dads because I am one, and I have a certain passion for helping them to get to their families because culturally speaking, historically we've kind of tried to tell dads that their bank accounts and their status is kind of more important than family, and I'm really trying to help kind of break that cycle. So that's kind of my part of trying to get them back to their families. But so it's going to be specifically for business owner dads, and we're going to be covering the key principles for getting back to your family and having the money to do what you love with them. So I'm going to get that up today, probably right after this. I'm going to get that up on Eventbrite, as well as that'll be on my Facebook page as well. So please go like my Facebook page, appreciate it, as well as the LinkedIn page, Time for Success. Please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Again, Matt Barbey, Barbey. It's right. It's there.
Right there. There you go.
There's a bit of a lag. Yeah, there's a little bit of a lag. Threw me off.
I know.
So connect with me on LinkedIn, and please like that Facebook page, and you'll see these events that are coming up.
No, that's me. I'm trying to point Papa. So underneath his name, see, it's not the easiest thing because I couldn't be a weatherman. So you have the name, and then there's phone number, and then email as well. Yeah. Plenty of ways to connect with Matt.
Right there. Yeah. And Matt Barbey, Barbey. It's like the doll, but you delete the I and put a Y at the end.
Gotcha.
Does that help? Right. I mean
that
it's
helps
right,
a little bit.
It's right there.
It's right there.
So anyway,
I love it.
both these events are free events. I want to help folks take those first steps to getting the business that they really want to have, and really the business that's going to give them the life that they want to have. And these are both key cornerstones of that. So, yeah.
Excellent. Well, I want to thank you for coming on, Matt. It's been
Thank you.
Great pleasure to talk to you. Eventually, we'll be able to see each other in person again, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Definitely make sure you connect with Matt with Time for Success. Like their Facebook page. I shared that in the comments. Send him a calendar app or invite. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, yes, please.
Make sure you go like that Facebook page. Check out those 2 events he's got coming up. And, yeah, Matt, it's been a great, we almost killed an hour here. That's pretty impressive.
Oh, my gosh, yeah. I'm going to, I need to, this is a water bottle, by the way. I know this is not coffee. So this is a 3-liter water bottle if you're just listening to the radio. But I carry this thing around with me everywhere. So, but
Gotcha.
I'm gonna probably finish that off after talking for so long.
That happens, right? Well, thanks once again for coming on, man. We got a couple more things to talk about here with some events, but thanks for coming on. Make sure you check out Time for Success, and we'll see you real soon, my friend.
All right, I'll see you. Take care. Take care,
All right,
and
take
thank
care,
you.
man.
All right, bye.
So we got a couple things to add on to that. Obviously, we had Matt with his events that are upcoming. We've got, let's see, what do we got here? How do I want to hit on this quickly? Don't forget, next, what is it, a week from Saturday? Is that right? Yeah, a week from Saturday is the Miracles in Progress Superstars and Supercars car show. That is going to start, gosh darn it, I should have wrote it down in Chesterfield Valley at the Exotic Car Place. I think it's Holman Automotive, is that the name of it? Anyway, they're going to block off 40. They're going to have some exotic cars flying down 40 out to the family arena. From 10 a.m. to 4, that event is going to be going on out there. There's going to be exotic cars. There's going to be trucks. There's going to be Can-Am Spiders. There's going to be all kinds of fun stuff flying around out there. It's a great cause. Make sure you check out, let's see if I can tag them again, Miracles in Progress on their, oh, you have to spell it right. Colin will give me trouble. Miracles in Progress. You know, what the heck did I do? Anyway, it's typical of me screwing stuff up. You know, Miracles in Progress. I was trying to tag their Facebook page. This just refused to work. That's all right. We'll do the website. So that is coming up on the 8th. They've also got their golf. Golf is different. Fishing tournament, the Buddy Fishing Tournament on September 19th and 20th. That's coming up at Mark Twain Lake. What on earth is going on there? I don't know. Anyway, we're just rolling with it. Hal's getting goofy. So also upcoming Pound Pets, that awesome rescue organization up in Granite City we talked about with the dog that got burned a few months ago. They are doing a yard sale August 14th and 15th from 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. 2700 Edward Street in Granite City. They're still looking for some donations. Yeah, you bring a bag and you fill it with clothes for $5. That's pretty awesome. Okay. Alright, fine then. So, it just doesn't like me. Alright, Hal's mad at me today. Anyway, we're just going to give up on that. Don't forget every Wednesday, Queen of Hearts drawing for Brett's First Responders.